Good morning, boys and girls. Excited to see you today. It is Monday. Whoop. After today, we only have 3 more Mondays together, which blows my mind. I didn't think we'd be ending the year like this. I miss you guys a lot. And probably the thing I miss the most about school would be getting to read stories to you and do a lot of fun activities with you. That's probably what I miss the most. And I miss that we didn't get to go on the zoo trip. That probably makes me that's something I look forward to every year, and I'm really sad about it this year. So, but it's okay. It's okay to miss things, and it's okay to want to be somewhere else when you're at home. But this is what it is, and we're going to make it through it, and it's going to be okay, and we're all safe, hopefully. And yeah, so I want you guys in the comments below before you end this, turn this assignment in today. Tell me something that you miss from school. Maybe you miss your friends. Maybe you miss your teacher. Maybe you miss a certain subject, like you miss writing or you miss reading at school, or maybe you miss PE, recess, lunch. I don't know what you miss. I'd like to know because we've been doing this online learning for a while now. So it's okay to just think about, I miss this about school, because then it helps us appreciate school a little bit more. So, all right. But I do have exciting news. Because I miss the zoo trip so much, I didn't just decide this, all the first grade teachers did, but we are going to go on a virtual zoo trip, and it's just for our school. So on Thursday at 9:30 a.m., if you get on, there's going to be an assignment for our zoo trip to the Toledo Zoo, and we're going to go on a virtual tour, kind of like how if Mrs. Ice picked up her computer and took you on a tour of her house, that's what they're going to do at the zoo for us, and it's going to be live, which is so exciting. So there'll be some more information and some videos to watch to help you get ready for that. Okay? All right, let's get started on our lesson today. We do have a live Google Meet at 10:30 today, and I'll be doing another read aloud during that time. So our big thing we're going to focus on is rereading. Boys and girls, we have reread for one of our strategies. If what we say doesn't make sense, we stop and we reread. But there's another way of doing this. So if what you read doesn't make sense as a whole, so usually it's like, I read something and the sentence doesn't make sense, or I just don't understand what the book's saying, it's still good to go back and reread. Or even if you're listening to a story, so you're even listening to my voice right now, you can, if I say something and you're like, I totally missed what she said, I don't understand, you can stop and reread and have me reread and go back and listen again. So we read whenever we don't understand. I'm going to write that down. Whenever we don't understand. It looks like I'm going to need to get a new marker, guys, because I didn't realize this one. I think I left the cap off this one too long. Can't see that very well. I'm sorry. Okay. So we reread whenever we don't understand, not just when it doesn't make sense. Okay. So let's get started on Charlotte's Web today. This book is 22 chapters. We have the rest of this week, which is 4 days, and then 15 school days. So that is 19 days left after today. Even less than that. No, it's 18 because we don't have a fret. We are done the 21st. So 18 left. And we're on chapter 7, and we have 22 total chapters. So we can finish it if we read a chapter a day. We might have to read 2 a day sometimes. So let's get started. Here we go. All right. Wilbur chapter 7 is called Bad News. Oh, and good job asking questions last Thursday. Something that you thought might happen. So here we go. Wilbur liked Charlotte better and better each day. Her campaign against insects seemed sensible and useful. Hardly anybody around the farm had a good word to say for a fly. Flies spent their time pestering others. The cows hated them. The horses detested them. The sheep loathed them. Okay, I'm kind of confused. I don't understand. I kind of get that they don't like the flies, but I'm going to go back and read again and see if I can understand a little bit better, okay? Hardly anybody around the farm had a good word to say for a fly, so they don't have anything nice to say about flies. Flies spent their time pestering others, like bothering others. The cows hated them. Now that makes sense. The horses detested them, which probably means it's a little bit stronger than hate. And the sheep loathed them, which means they really, 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 really hate them. Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerman were always complaining about them and putting up screens. I'm going to put a check mark when we reread. We had to stop and reread right there. Something you guys can do at home, okay? Wilbur admired the way Charlotte managed. He was particularly glad that she had always put her victim to sleep before eating it. I guess that's okay. It's real thoughtful of you to do that, Charlotte, he said. Yes, she replied in her sweet musical voice. I always give them an anesthetic so they won't feel pain. It's a little service I throw in. But as the days went by, Wilbur grew and grew. He ate 3 big meals a day. He spent long hours lying on his side, half asleep, dreaming pleasant dreams. He enjoyed good health and he gained a lot of weight. One afternoon, when Fern was sitting on her stool, the oldest sheep walked into the barn and stopped to pay a call on Wilbur. Hello, she said. Seems to me you're putting on weight. Yes, I am. Yes, I guess I am, replied Wilbur. At my age, it's a good idea to keep gaining. Just the same, I don't envy you, said the old sheep. You know why they're fattening you up, don't you? No, said Wilbur. Well, I don't like to spread bad news, said the sheep. But they're fattening you up because they're going to kill you. That's why. They're going to what? Screamed Wilbur. Fern grew rigid on her stool. Kill you. Turn you into smoked bacon and ham, continued the old sheep. Almost all young pigs get murdered by the farmer as soon as the real cold weather sets in. There's a regular conspiracy around here to kill you at Christmas time. Everybody is in the plot. Lurvy, Zuckerman, and even John Arable. Mr. Arable, sobbed Wilbur. Fern's father. Certainly. When a pig is to be butchered, everybody helps. I'm an old sheep, and I see the same old thing, same old business, year after year. Arable arrives with his .22, shoots the... Stop! Screamed Wilbur. I don't want to die. Save me, somebody, save me. Fern was just about to jump up when a voice was heard. I wonder what voice it was. It's a good question. I guess we'll find out. Here we go. Be quiet, Wilbur, said Charlotte, who had been listening to this awful conversation. I can't be quiet, screamed Wilbur, racing up and down. I don't want to be killed. I don't want to die. Is it true what the old sheep says, Charlotte? Is it true they're going to kill me when the cold weather comes? Well, said the spider, plucking thoughtfully at her web, the old sheep has been around this barn a long time. She has seen many a spring pig come and go. If she says they plan to kill you, I'm sure it's true. It's also the dirtiest trick I've ever heard of. What people don't think of. Wilbur burst into tears. I don't want to die, he moaned. I want to stay alive right here in my comfortable manure pile with all my friends. I want to breathe the beautiful air and lie in the beautiful rain. I don't understand. I think I should go back and reread. I want to breathe the beautiful air and lie in the beautiful sun. Now that makes more sense. I think I just didn't read it correctly. That happens to all of us, guys. You're certainly making a beautiful noise, snapped the old sheep. I don't want to die, screamed Wilbur, throwing himself to the ground. You shall not die, said Charlotte briskly. What? Really? Cried Wilbur. Who's going to save me? I had to reread again because what's going to save me doesn't make sense. I am, said Charlotte. How? Asked Wilbur. That remains to be seen, but I'm going to save you and I want you to quiet down immediately. You're carrying on in a childish way. Stop your crying. I can't stand hysterics. And that's the end, guys. That was a short chapter. Chapter 8 is called A Talk at Home. And this next one's quite a bit longer, so we're going to wait on that one. Yeah, that's a longer one. I'm going to go through the book and look for the shorter ones and probably double up some of the chapters if we can. Or I might post an extra assignment if you want to catch up. So, great job rereading. There's a few times I read something and it didn't make sense and I went back and fixed it. And there was other times that I just didn't understand the words they were using. So I had to use the words around it. So like when we were reading about how the cows hated the flies, then they started using these other words like detested and loathed. I had to use the word hate to figure out what those words meant. Because even though loathed sounds like loved, it doesn't mean that. Here is a picture of Wilbur crying and the sheep telling Wilbur he's going to die. But I wonder how Charlotte's going to help Wilbur. I'm interested to see how this plays out. All right, guys. So practice even when it doesn't even, oh, I'm so sorry. It doesn't mean just when you read something and it doesn't sound correctly. It's also when it doesn't make sense in your brain. If you're like, I just don't understand what that means, go back and reread. Practice that, okay? 18 days left to school. I hope to see some of you guys today at 10:30. I'm going to do a short read aloud. We won't be reading from Charlotte's Web, and I'll be doing a reading lesson with it. I can't wait to see you guys. I miss you, and have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Get outside. It's supposed to be super nice today. And remember to answer that question about what do you miss about school. Bye.